Peacemaker, 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 baby. Season 2 is right around the corner, and it's the next installment in James Gunn's DC universe, and it's definitely important. I think that the story of Peacemaker in Season 1 was bold, exciting, and I definitely didn't anticipate James folding Cena into this universe. I mean, considering the mature rating, especially since we saw Snyder's Justice League at the end of the first season, it just didn't seem likely to me. But if you take a step back and you really understand the grand scheme of things, how maybe, just maybe, this might be the smartest decision for DC, and these older fans can now be folded into the new world because, well, I mean, they're literally doing that.
They have a dimensional portal, and it leads to a parallel world.
What?
It's not that big a deal.
Get the out, it's not.
This old universe and this new universe somehow, someway colliding together. But will it work? Will Peacemaker fit in with this fantastical comic booky universe, even with his sharp tongue, gruesome fucking methods, and horrible dancing skills? Well, for that, we're gonna have to dig deep, like really deep. Keep going. Almost there. Yep. Okay, there we go. I think in order for us to get to the bottom of this, we're gonna need to flip back to Suicide Squad. No, not that one. This one. James Gunn's Suicide Squad, with its weird and disturbing personality, it was totally different and maybe more refreshing than the absolute hellscape that became the DCEU. With the total flop of that Wonder Woman movie before it, this iteration of the Suicide Squad was a really good surprise. One I definitely didn't see coming. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was always this strange feeling around DC releases back then because they were either a hit or a miss. I mean, even the bad ones had some moments of clarity, but I feel like The Suicide Squad had a real sense of direction in comparison to these other titles. I mean, this was a stacked cast of characters from Harley Quinn, Weasel, King Shark, Polka Dot Man, Rick Flag. I mean, it's a fucking Bloodsport. And like 50 other characters that were in this movie that were all outlined with distinctive personalities. I mean, even if some of them were short-lived. But Peacemaker? I mean, like, who the hell was this guy?
Starfish is a slang term for a butthole. Think there's any connection?
No.
I mean, I feel like they devoted a lot of time to this character in this movie, and the whole time I was wondering, who the hell is Peacemaker? He had an interesting look, but I really didn't know who he was. But what sort of drew me to him was his conviction. I mean, he was bound by this code, by this governance, to some skewed sense of honor, which isn't something you see in a lot of characters. He wasn't just the guy who foiled the plot. It seemed like he really, really believed in what he was doing. He thought it was right. And that was something that was so interesting to me. Like, he was so bound to this ideal. And I think that's what makes a compelling character. I mean, it'd be different if he was just another hired gun, but he's not. He has moral boundaries. Like Peacemaker said,
I told you that information can't get out. Fuck!
It's okay to destroy the hard drive. Why kill me?
Because I'm thorough. Sorry, kid.
Oh, no.
he's thorough. He does what he believes in, bringing peace through any means necessary. But this wasn't Peacemaker's peace. It wasn't his code, it was Amanda Waller's, which led this Peacemaker to become part of this cover-up for the United States. But I think John Cena does a very good job facial expression and tone. He conveys a lot through his eyes. When Ratcatcher steals a hard drive from Peacemaker, he's almost not gonna kill her. He looks at her, and you can see he's very conflicted, he's very confused, but he knows what he's doing is right. He really feels that his code is a life-bound duty, that he has to be thorough, that he has to go through with this, because in my mind, he's on the brink of a mental breakdown. And you can tell he's had a very complicated past, and we, the viewer, we can see that through Cena. The Suicide Squad sort of broke the realism vibe for me. It showed me that James' lighthearted, goofy, but grim tone doesn't just exist through Guardian movies. That there was something there behind the curtain. Something within this movie that had an element which wholeheartedly had the director's personality embedded within it. And wouldn't you know it, 5 months later, bam, there it was, Peacemaker, released into the world, and you know what? I didn't watch it. I totally forgot it existed until maybe like 2 months ago. But I sat down with my girlfriend and gave it a watch with her in the midst of my Superman hype. Who, by the way, isn't good with convoluted storylines or isn't into superhero stuff like I am. But when I tell you we both fucking love this show, I mean, we really did. We both came out on the same page that we really enjoyed this. And I think it's because, like I've been ranting about, Peacemaker is complicated, but in a deceiving sort of way. You look at him, he looks goofy, dressed in red, white, and blue. Like, you think he's just an American assassin, just one of Waller's goons. Then you quickly come to realize that is very much not the case. He's really messed up, man. His father is like a notorious conspiracy theorist, racist, a supervillain, a family history riddled with horrendous abuse, both physically and mentally. And a big highlight was the fact that Chris, Peacemaker, was made to kill his own brother by his own father, who doubles as the horrible White Dragon villain. With this heavy weight towing on Peacemaker's shoulders, you can understand why he's drawn to this skewed sense of honor, to create peace through any means necessary, something wrongly instilled in him by his father. Chris has a more balanced perception of the world than his old man, but it's still on the very teetering edge of right and wrong. Any decision could turn Peacemaker into something as troubled as a White Dragon, or turn him into a proper hero. It's this careful balancing act in this show that tries to sway Peacemaker in either direction, good and evil. And you can see how conflicted this makes Chris become. Because by the end of this show, there's a definite switch in Peacemaker. He chooses good. He overcomes his past. Even though there will always be traces of his former self, he created his own code, not Waller's, his own morals to abide by. And when we put this all together, looking forward into Season 2, while this is a changed Peacemaker, those traces of his former self still come with him into this new universe. That he's led a horrible life, and he probably still kills with every deadly method in the book, who's imperfect, who probably sees this new world, the main DC universe now, as something to chase, to go after, because it's a new beginning. I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want a place where they can start over? And isn't that what we're all doing? We're all starting over. Peacemaker is important as a character and as a show to the wider audience. This show will walk you through the steps as someone as unfamiliar with this new universe as anyone else, as Peacemaker. A walkthrough in the most basic sense of the word. And with emotion, relationships, meaning, all trailing behind him, all connected to that past universe that we're moving away from. And I think there might not be a better show to do that than Peacemaker. Even with the mature rating, it'll show that any and every type of genre can fit into this story. That it isn't just made for kids, or that it isn't just made for adults. That everyone can have a piece of this universe. Then if the story needs to be dark and gritty, then Gunn will let it. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. It's a universe undefined by standards and by executive oversight. And if your show or movie is any good, then you're in. That's all it takes. And I'm very excited for Peacemaker Season 2, and I'm very happy to see that they went this route, because I think we're all ready to say goodbye to the old, while still reminiscing over it, and bring in this new world that has a lot to show us. And if you haven't yet, please give Peacemaker and Superman a watch. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're feeling some type of way. Thank you for your time.